Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Zickus. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a policy manager.
My name is Cam Ogden. I also use she, her pronouns, and I am also on Equality Ohio's policy team.
So the State House Advocate Award this year will honor Dara Atkinson. Dara has been a relentless voice at the State House in an amazing way, ceaselessly advocating for policies that support and uplift LGBTQ individuals and fighting back fiercely against the ones that do not. In my first week with Equality Ohio back in April, we were attending a hearing for an anti-LGBTQ bill. Dara was there and delivered a testimony on behalf of themselves and Trans Ohio that was so genuine and compelling, and they have only continued to be someone that I'm honored to work with and look up to in the community immensely.
I've been going to the State House for long enough that I have plenty of badass stories about Dara that I could tell. But while I'm up here in front of this microphone, I just want to say that our community is in need of heroes now more than ever, and Dara, from the bottom of my heart, you are one of them. So please, everyone, join me in celebrating Dara Atkinson.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is a large, heavy object. Thank you. I'm going to lay it down like this. Yeah. Logistics, yes. Thank you so much, Cam and Morgan. So I'm Dara Atkinson, and I am very awkward. So I'm the executive director of Trans Ohio. And I'm very honored to be this year's State House Advocate. I guess the first State House Advocate since we restructured the awards. It's really weird for me to be recognized for the work that I do, partially because I was doing it as a volunteer for more than a decade, but also just because I don't think it's work that should need to be done in like a just and equitable society. But that doesn't mean that it's not without recognition, but just, things to think about. But I just would like to imagine a legislature that is focused on helping people instead of trying to make lives more difficult for trans people and for trans children across the state. It's a wild concept, I know, but let's start with that as like a simple baseline. I was trying to figure out how many times I testified in the past year when I found out about this, and I'm pretty sure it was 11, not taking into account a plethora of press conferences and interviews and any number of things. In other words, been at the State House so much that some people were like, oh, I recognize you from the back of courtrooms. I'm like, yes, that is me apparently now. But sometimes I try to think about how I ended up here. And there's a story from when I was a kid that kind of makes it all make sense to me. When I was a fourth grader, my recess was vastly unjust by my opinion. You had to line up and be silent and still for a few minutes before everyone could go play. So I wrote the governor. And with that letter from the governor, I got the principal to change the policy. Some people are pre-programmed to see injustice, and if you're not, challenge you to find it, because there's a lot of it happening in Ohio. Yes, we've got a ton of allies, so many awesome allies in this room right now, but look for that extra injustice no matter what its level is and seek it out and do something, because there is nothing too small to give people agency, and we all deserve to have some agency. But the way I testify at the State House has changed a lot over time. I've been testifying for years at this point, and there's so much less agency for trans and gender expansive folks because our ability to persuade people has changed. So many more legislatures are ideologues at this point. And I know that there are many people in this room who have testified at the State House or lobbied at the State House and been told to their faces just how despicable legislatures truly think them to be. But I still show up, and I try to explain to legislatures that they cannot erase us. And I also promote what Trans Ohio has to offer, our mutual aid, our legal services, our plethora of resources, and the community that comes from that lived experience and that shared announcement of identity. I know that there is danger in visibility, but there is also innate power in visibility and showing those possibility models that I did not have as a kid. Like growing up, like being a non-binary, genderqueer, transmasc person, that was not like an option in the 90s. Like it was, but it wasn't something you could find easily. And so it's really an honor to get to be that possibility model that other people can see now as an option. And I'm just really thankful to get to be a part of the change that Trans Ohio is, and thankful for James for helping me find a home that my younger self did not know was possible, and the advocacy that Trans Ohio provides. I'm really thankful for my amazing wife, Shauna, who is always proofreading and working over any number of phrasings that I have for way too many speeches and testimonies and quotes and everything throughout the year. And I just want everyone here to strive to not be silent in the face of any kind of bigotry or hatred that you see towards LGBTQIA+ people in your lives, to never sit idly by while those around you are in need, and to make sure your own cups are full, because we can't help other people in our community if we're not looking out for ourselves too. And be someone your childhood self would be proud of, whatever amazing queer or allied version that may be, because I know I am. And thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dara, for your amazing dedication to Trans Ohioans. As you all may have noticed, our community was very excited to recognize our honorees this year. So each honoree will be receiving a certificate from Franklin County Auditor Michael Cinziano, as well as a commendation from Minority Leader Nikki J. Antonio, the first openly LGBTQ+ individual to serve in the Ohio General Assembly. Next, I would like to welcome our Executive Director, Dwayne Stewart, back to the stage to present our Local Champion Award. The Local Champion Award honors a local leader or organization who has made a profound impact within their community, fostering relationships, advocating for inclusivity, and inspiring others through their grassroots efforts.
All righty. Hope you're not sick of hearing me just yet. So I'm actually very excited to be able to give out this award. I know this person very closely. So the Local Champion Award this year goes to Brian Jones. And Mr. Jones has been thriving with AIDS for over 42 years and has been an advocate activist for half of that time. He is a founding steering committee member of the International Undetectable Equals Untransmittable campaign, U Equals U. For over 10 years, he has been a voting member of the Cleveland Planning Council. He advocates and presents both nationally and internationally. Mr. Jones was very instrumental in the forming of the Ohio Health Modernization Movement that Equality Ohio is also a part of, whose mission is to modernize the HIV non-disclosure laws in Ohio. And he is responsible for initiating and mobilizing, the mobilization of Ohio around these laws. Mr. Jones is also the founder of DIRT, D-I-R-T, the advocacy movement, which is a prevention model, and he is the founder of the Sankofa HIV initiative. This initiative provides healing weekends, webinars, and training for organizations, as well as for people living with HIV and AIDS. Brian is a proud Rattler and graduate of Florida A&M University with a BS in broadcast journalism. And like I mentioned, I've gotten the chance to work with Brian for a long time. Many of you who know me know that I got my start in this work in HIV/AIDS activism. Brian's always been someone I've had the pleasure of working with, and he's really paved the way for me in many ways. I'm really honored to bestow the 2024 Equality Ohio Champion Award. Brian could not be with us here tonight because he is in the hospital. We all, I think, all know that what he's been dealing with, but he has a family member who is here today to accept the award on his behalf, if you want to come up and do so. Oh, over here. Thank you.
Next, we will bring members of the Equality Ohio Legal Clinic to the stage to present the Legal Advocate of the Year Award. The Legal Advocate of the Year Award recognizes an individual or group whose legal work has significantly advanced LGBTQ+ rights in Ohio, showing outstanding leadership, inclusivity, and a deep commitment to the cause of lived and legal equality in Ohio.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Justin Joseph. My pronouns are he, him, and I am a staff attorney with the Equality Ohio Legal Clinic. It is my honor to present the Legal Advocate of the Year Award to the ACLU of Ohio. The ACLU of Ohio has been instrumental in defending LGBTQ equality in Ohio through legal, educational, and legislative resources. They have worked to advance the Ohio Fairness Act to push for legislative non-discrimination protection, rallied Ohio businesses to the cause through Ohio Business Competes, and most notably, the ACLU of Ohio has shaped Ohio's legal landscape through their work on landmark cases and challenges to discriminatory legislation, such as the recent and continuing challenge to HB 68. Their dedication to civil liberties and justice have strengthened the fight for legal and lived equity for LGBTQ+ Ohioans. Please join us in welcoming the ACLU of Ohio.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Freda Levinson, she, her pronouns. I'm the legal director of the ACLU of Ohio, and it's my pleasure, very sincere honor and joy to accept this award on behalf of the ACLU of Ohio, not just the legal team who, clearly because the challenge to HB 68 is still taking the form of a lawsuit. It was spearheaded by lawyers, but it's the entirety of the ACLU of Ohio, the whole staff, all of the departments whose work is integral to this effort. And for all of our efforts. So I accept this on behalf of not just legal, comms, development, policy, tech, everyone. We all work together in harmony and cooperation out of necessity to do this work. I wish I could give you a satisfying update about HB 68. We are in a holding pattern right now. As you know, we lost in the trial court, not because we were wrong on the law or on the facts. In my judgment, we were entirely correct, and the bill should be stricken as unconstitutional. It absolutely should be. But the judge decided from his ideological perspective, really not from a legal perspective or on the basis of factual determinations, that the law should be upheld. So we appealed immediately. The appellate court was very interested in expediting the case. It put it on a very fast schedule, which was exciting. They required briefing very quickly. Oral argument was heard very quickly. The case is fully briefed and argued, and it's ready for decision. It's been ready for decision, though, for 7 weeks. So for a court that has been in a hurry, it's somewhat inexplicable to us that we don't have a ruling yet. We keep refreshing our computers and phones because we'll get the decision via email, and no word yet. I silenced my phone while I was sitting at the table, so maybe in the last few minutes, but I don't think that there's an update. We did get a very good reception before the appellate court. They were engaged, they heard the arguments, they understood them, and I personally don't like to predict, I don't want to jinx anything, but I am cautiously optimistic that we will prevail in overturning the trial court's decision at least on 1 or 2 grounds, and it only takes 1. So I think we have a good chance of winning in the appellate court. But this is the intermediate appellate court, so win or lose, the case will not end here. If we win, the state will certainly appeal to the Ohio Supreme Court. If we lose, we will certainly appeal to the Ohio Supreme Court. So that's where the case will ultimately be decided. It won't go on to the US Supreme Court. The Ohio Supreme Court will be the deciders of whether we have to live under HB 68 or not. So this upcoming election is very important. The composition of the court is critical, and I encourage you, I don't need to encourage you, to vote in that election. Without co-opting the agenda, I do want to also share some very exciting news. Just 3 or 4 hours ago, we won an historic victory. The 6-week ban has been stricken in Ohio. This is a great moment for bodily autonomy in Ohio. The ban has been permanently enjoined, and this is the first permanent injunction won across the entire country following a constitutional amendment. So this is historic in so many ways. And it just goes to show the power that people have when they join together in solidarity and work to accomplish something in the law by initiative. Popular initiative is extremely powerful. And we have that in this upcoming election as well, another opportunity there. So the Reproductive Freedom Amendment is fulfilling its promise, absolutely, as voters expected, and it's so validating. And there's several other lawsuits on our docket before courts now. We already have preliminary injunctions in several of those. So this powerful amendment is honestly actualized to a tremendous degree. So we're very hopeful for the future, at least in this regard. I want to thank you again for all you do. Equality Ohio, you're such a dear, inspirational, important partner that we just regard with so much affection and solidarity. So it's just a huge, huge value and joy to be receiving this award. Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Thank you to everyone at the ACLU of Ohio for all that you do for our community. Alrighty. Next up, we will welcome MD Seitz, our communications manager and a very key player in making sure that this event happened this evening, to the stage. MD will be presenting the Ally of the Year Award. This award celebrates a non-LGBTQ+ individual or organization that has shown exceptional support, advocacy, and solidarity with LGBTQ+ Ohioans, embodying the spirit of active allyship.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see all of your faces here tonight. Again, my name is MD Seitz. My pronouns are they, them, and sometimes she. And I'm the communications manager at Equality Ohio. I'm actually, if you see a typo on any of the slides, it's probably my fault, so you can just let me know. I am so proud to introduce Julie Posey, our 2024 Ally of the Year. Yeah, very excited. Julie has a 28-year career in education, and she has shaped countless minds at Columbus State Community College and Columbus College of Art and Design. Holding a master's degree in pharmacology, she's an associate professor of human anatomy and physiology and a DEI faculty fellow at Columbus State. How does she have the time? I don't know. Her allyship goes far beyond the classroom. Julie founded a transgender and non-binary support group called Cougar Closet. It's gonna make me want to cry. It's a free shopping experience for trans individuals. And she also, at the same time, was organizing panels and drag shows to foster understanding about LGBTQ plus Ohioans to the wider community. She's a published co-author and an award-winning educator. And perhaps dearest to my heart, because my twins are in the room tonight, as a fellow parent, Julie's greatest inspiration comes from being a proud mom. Please join us in celebrating Julie Posey. Come on up here, girl. Come up here, girl.
Oh, yeah. Just my citations. God, this thing moves. I don't know why I'm nervous. I talk for a living. Hi, my name is Julie Posey. I do work at Columbus State. I'm an associate professor, which has been the best job I've ever had, of course. It's one of the only jobs I've ever had. But one of the best things that happened was I became a DEI faculty fellow. And because of that, I was able to do work that means so much to me. And I'm so honored to be given this award, and I know I've been given this award by my colleagues who have nominated me. But you know, I'm gonna do this work whether I'm a faculty fellow or whether I get awards, because it needs done. And I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut, so it's good that I have found a path for me. But I want to tell you a little bit like why I fight. I have a transgender daughter, and I will also try not to cry. But she's amazing. Ivy is 21, and she is thriving at Ohio University. Go Bobcats. She came out when she was 15, and she had the patience with me, with us, as I navigated her new world. I made a lot of missteps. I tried to turn her into me. I thought I knew better, but she helped me to understand that this journey was hers, and my job is to support her, fight for her rights, be in her corner always, and love her as she walks her own path. But then she's happy and living at Ohio University, and so I needed to fight for some more people. So what about everybody else who didn't have my opportunity to be so close and to learn about this? What about everybody else who doesn't have her support? How can I help? So every initiative that I've been able to achieve at Columbus State, it is all about Ivy. Everything's about Ivy. Do we have at Columbus State gender affirmation care that Ivy had? No, we didn't, so we fixed that. We do now. Do we have access to gender-neutral bathrooms in every single building like Ivy had at OU? We're fixing that. Do students who want to explore new gender identities and have access and money to reinvent their entire wardrobe like Ivy did 3 times? We fixed that too. Okay. Cougar Closet was amazingly successful, and we're going to be doing it again and again and again. I'm so lucky. My department went through Ivy's transition with me. They became allies the moment that I did. They support every initiative. Every time I get in trouble, they're right there listening to me. I have started a new transgender and non-binary support group. We've had panel discussions on perspectives about being transgender and non-binary. We've given away thousands and thousands of pieces of clothing. We've had a drag show that we literally had to drag the administration through. We've had days of visibility. But I am so lucky that Columbus State lets me do this, and they let me be people's moms who need it. So, thanks.
Thank you, Julie, for your inspiring allyship and for making me tear up a little bit in the corner. All right. Next, I will welcome our local field organizers to the stage to present the award for Organization of the Year. The Organization of the Year award honors an Ohio-based organization, grassroots or nonprofit, demonstrating exemplary relationship building, intersectional advocacy, and alignment with Equality Ohio's mission, making a tangible impact on the LGBTQ+ community in Ohio.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Souza. I use he, him pronouns.
And I am Madeline Smith, and I use she, her pronouns.
And we serve as community organizers with Equality Ohio's field team, and we're deeply honored to introduce this year's Organization of the Year award. As Kieran mentioned, the intention behind this award is to celebrate an organization that exemplifies the power of grassroots advocacy, community building, and an unwavering dedication to justice. And we couldn't be more thrilled to present it to Trans Ohio.
We do have some more. We do have some more to say, but yes.
Come stand with us.
No. We're making you come up. Congratulations again. I don't want to hold it.
Okay. Now we're holding.
They're holding it now. We'll wrap up quickly from our perspective. I can't speak for them. As the Midwest's first and only statewide trans-led organization, Trans Ohio works tirelessly to protect and advance the rights of trans, non-binary, intersex, and gender non-conforming folks across the state for almost 20 years. They are led by a small, primarily volunteer team of trans folks who dedicate their time, energy, and love to this important work, which, as we all know, becomes more challenging every year as the Ohio legislature continues to escalate its assault on trans autonomy and the rights of trans people to thrive in public life with dignity. In the midst of a particularly heartbreaking year, Trans Ohio's impact has been essential. They have facilitated programming that offers learning and community building opportunities, and they have supported more than 800 Ohioans with their emergency fund and other direct services. Yeah, absolutely. As comrades in this work, we can proudly say that Trans Ohio is a pillar in our ecosystem and advocates that are making queer and trans liberation happen.
All right, thank you, Madeline and Joseph. Yeah, I'm back, now with James. Trans Ohio, like Equality Ohio, is going into our 20th year. We're very honored to be awarded Organization of the Year. We've definitely accomplished a lot both this year and all of the years prior. As you may recall from a few minutes ago, I'm Dara Adkison, they, them. I'm our executive director, our first paid executive director as of 4 months ago. Standing beside me is James Knapp, who is amazing and hates recognition, so do not ignore him. But also, he's been our board chair for over 10 years and has helped us accomplish insurmountable amounts of things for the trans community in Ohio. Trans people, as we've talked about through many of the speeches tonight, have been demonized relentlessly in this past year. And unfortunately, one of the places that have had the most cruel attacks is here in Ohio. We've had fear-mongering of our existence, the result of what people will call a pernicious gender ideology. But it's not an ideology or a concept. We're just people trying to lead our lives just like everyone else in the world. And that is where Trans Ohio comes in. We help support trans people across the state and show that our community is not only strong and resilient, but kind, caring, and great at looking out for each other. Trans Ohio is a testament to the importance of volunteering and community and what stepping in and stepping up can actually end up looking like. So what has made Trans Ohio Organization of the Year? Let's look at some quick numbers. There's 300 plus name changes that we've helped through the Ohio Name Change Legal Clinic that we have. 100 plus of them are scholarships awarded for legal filing fees just this year, over 800 since starting the program in 2016. 1,200 plus people who are Ohioans, transgender, expansive, experiencing healthcare, housing, and food insecurity that we've helped through our Emergency Mutual Aid Fund. That was a crisis response to HB 68. 37 prides attended this summer, letting communities throughout Ohio know about the resources available to help them. 600 plus physical copies of our Trans Joy zine circulated, giving trans people an opportunity to share their experiences and connecting us back to our roots as a flyer from 2005. 250 plus people who attended our 15th annual Trans Ohio Symposium, successfully held in Dayton for the first time. 83 State House calls to action, inciting the public to feel and speak their own voice and teaching them how to testify, and of course, lots of our own personal testimonies. These aren't even everything that Trans Ohio has accomplished in the last year, let alone the last nearly 20, but it is a step in the bucket of why we are the organization of this year, at least what I was thinking when I was trying to figure out why. At the end of the day, Trans Ohio is extremely excited and to be part of the fabric of queer Ohio as a whole. And we have existed and supported and aided in our community for so long. We see so many targets against us now, and we will continue to exist past when those targets have long since passed. We are so grateful to everyone who has volunteered with us both this year and every year prior, and every year in the future. There's lots of potential volunteers in here, perhaps. As the only paid member, we need more volunteers, seriously. But I'm very thankful for our board, for our volunteers, for our community, for all of our partners like Equality Ohio and so many other great, trans-led organizations in the state as well, and just what makes our organization impactful and monumental for the trans and gender expansive community of Ohio. Trans people are part of the fabric of our society in Ohio now and forever, and to every trans person, both in this room and in Ohio, everyone who knows a trans person, loves or respects a trans person, we are in this together, we are not alone, and we're not going anywhere. And thank you.
Thank you again to Trans Ohio for showing up every day for trans Ohioans. Your work is truly incredible. All right. Okay. All right. I will actually be presenting our next award, the Queer Joy Award. But before I launch into that, I just wanted to take a moment to reflect on something that Dara said earlier when they were accepting their first award of the evening. That is that when I was a kid, I did not know that I could be trans. I did not know trans people existed. I did not know a trans person. But I stand here today in my beautiful trans body on a stage where the majority of the people that will take the microphone this evening are other transgender and non-binary individuals. So thank you for taking a moment to celebrate that with me. Now on to the Queer Joy Award. So the Queer Joy Award celebrates an individual or group whose work and presence embodies the spirit of queer joy, creating inclusive, uplifting spaces that bring happiness and hope to the LGBTQ+ community in Ohio. And without further ado, this year's Queer Joy Award honors Bryden Shuren, an award-winning published queer trans artist, activist, and business owner. Bryden radiates queer joy, using art and advocacy to celebrate the LGBTQ+ community and creating opportunities for LGBTQ+ people to feel the joy that comes from making art. They have supported organizations like Trans Lifeline, the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation, and the You Will Rise program, while also co-creating Queertopia, an art experience celebrating queer joy through paintings, workshops, and the Redrawing Masculinity class. Among their many accomplishments, Bryden also started Columbus's first Trans Pride March and has advocated for trans visibility at the Ohio State House. Bryden's queer joy is infectious as they build the inclusive spaces that we need to support an Ohio where everyone is welcome, affirmed, and flourishing. And before we bring Bryden to the stage, I'd also like to mention that they so kindly have offered a piece of their art up for auction tonight in the back of the room, so please do check that out if you have not yet. All that said, please join me in celebrating Bryden Shuren.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Hi, everybody. Bear with me as I've written some stuff down so I don't black out on stage in front of you all. Thank you, Equality Ohio, and everyone that nominated me. I am incredibly honored and truly humbled to receive the Queer Joy Award. Standing here today is a powerful reminder. That even when the world tries to erase us and more laws are put in place to strip us away from our rights as humans, our joy is an act of resistance and resilience. For me, this work has always been very personal. Growing up, the queer representation was kind of lacking. You would have the options of Jerry Springer's special Is It a Man, or you can fill in the blank, or terrifying stories like Boys Don't Cry or Southern Comfort. I went to the University of Dayton, and I was the only out trans student there, and I didn't have any support, and I was an easy target for hate. And then I had medical professionals invalidate me and tell me that this is all a phase and that I will never become a man. So that added on to it. My goal here is that isolation and that loneliness is something that I never want to see others feel. And I do this work that I do because I want to create a world where everyone feels supported and feels seen. And maybe I'm doing it a little bit to heal my own heart and traumas, just a little bit. And but I feel incredibly rewarding to be seen for the work that I do. But I want to emphasize that this is a community that helps me build these communities and creates these experiences. And I do this work out of the love and joy that I get from seeing other trans and queer individuals thrive and have hope for their future. You all are my joy. Between starting organizations, hosting Redrawing Masculinity classes, running marches, fundraisers, art shows, and more, sleep is I don't really know her. Apparently, being a professional volunteer as a career choice, I don't think my parents were really rooting for, but it was either that or an artist, so why not both? And in all seriousness, I want to dedicate this award to everyone who has felt out of place, that didn't feel like they belonged. Sorry, oh no. My bad, beep. Your joy is valid, your presence is powerful, you are seen, you belong here, you are loved, you deserve love, and there is a place in this world for you. Yeah. Let's keep building spaces where every queer person feels celebrated for exactly who they are. Together, we can ensure that joy is not just an act of defiance, but it is a birthright. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And lastly, I just wanted to remind you that the polls are open. And, like, we need your votes to help protect the rights of our community and also give the younger generation hope for their future and make sure they don't disappear on us. If you want to collaborate, just let me know. Yeah.